Well, welcome back everyone. It is going to be the fifth and final game of our week 4 of Myth Kickballers, the match between Renwood and Thor, two opposing captains here. There are a couple of roster changes. For instance, Giant Killer General did join Thor's team at the end there. He was a little bit late to the series, but managed to kind of join Thor. And I think Renwood wanted him to join his team, but in the interest of fairness, GKG joined Thor's team. So, yep, that's gonna be pretty much the size of it. Something interesting to draw your attention to. I think that the past 3 weeks, GKG has kind of joined late. While the series uh, has already begun, and he's kind of joined after it's already started in the past 3 weeks, and in each 3 weeks, I think. If I'm not mistaken, somebody should probably fact check me on this, but I think in every case he joins the losing team, like the team that he's on loses. But I just think that's funny. It doesn't actually mean anything, but just a funny coincidence, if I may say so, since he is kind of regarded as like one of the better players in this game, one of the most competitive at any rate. So yeah, it's going to be Keep Across the River, which is kind of an interesting map. I mean, there's this island in the middle. It's going to be Last Man on the Hill. So basically, the team that holds this flag at the end of the game is going to win. There's only one flag as opposed to several flags. It's going to be in this middle hill area. It's kind of flat. Most of the map is kind of flat-ish with these pockets of terrain that nobody really nobody really moves on because it's kind of hard to like navigate, as the pathfinding isn't really too great through like trees and stuff. But yeah, there's going to be like these two keeps. It's kind of play on words, Keep Across the River, with these kind of caches of items and stuff. Now nobody ever uses these. These are cleavers for goals to throw potentially, but nobody ever really uses those. Satchels, nobody even really needs those. But the roots could come in handy. But yeah, so I mean, once the journeyman heals everything, he could probably pick up all these roots if he wanted to. We'll go ahead and look at the strategies for these players if we have time. Looks like some thrall here for Thor with mostly, I'm assuming pus goals, maximum pus for that, for dwarves, and less than maximum warriors. I'm a little bit surprised with quite a number of archers. Whereas Renwood's going to go for, a large number of thrall. Very few, if any, dwarves. So that's kind of interesting. Maximum pus, it looks like. Maximum warriors, and I think I don't think it's maximum archers, but a number of archers, sizable number of archers there. And once again, same thing in this keep with the kind of item caches or stashes, as the case may be. So yeah, it's gonna be a last man on the hill game. All these units are kind of traffic jammed at this point in time. They're all trying to move through each other, so they all kind of get in each other's way. Same thing over here with Thor's team, but it looks like his team, I don't know if they're going to spread out a little bit more or not, if there's going to be a flank. That's one thing that we'll have to see develop after, the first minute or so. And I think Thor is going to give Giant Killer General like a sizable flank. I think that's what his strategy entails at this point. So I don't know, who is this? Yeah, this is Giant Killer General. So I guess he gets this flank to himself, which is kind of like, so this is something that we see that's actually pretty common for especially a high level play, just like a unit mix, what they call a squad. And a squad, they give it to one player, but it's basically a small self-sufficient unit. It's like a microcosm of the army itself.
Captured.
Kind of a balanced mix of melee with ranged and artillery with pus, more often than not. And here's some more melee, some thrall, but a lot of different unit types. And that's something that you see quite often at high levels of play, and I'm kind of on the fence about the efficacy of that kind of strategy, because I think it might be in a lot of cases like too many unit types for a lot of players. Now Thor's team is going to be taking this flag and basically just owning the middle of this map here on the hill. There's going to be this goal running in and maybe being pushed back. And it's going to be it's kind of going to be just archers taking pot shots at each other for the moment in time. So Sam the Butcher, Donsky, and it looks like Father Xmas have archers. I have archers as well, but it's going to be Kremisi and Milkman with Gudini with archers, and then it looks like Q is going to be backing him up as well. So it's going to be kind of a fair archer battle here, although it's going to be, I think it's going to be favoring our team, as we can see Thor's units are kind of centered in this single area, and we have like a better spread. We have a better surround there. Now GKG is going to try to flank through the south. I don't know if he's been scouted yet or not by Sam the Butcher or who's that? Yeah, by Sam the Butcher. I think Sam the Butcher is going to peel off and maybe try to meet them at the crossing, or maybe at this fork in the road. In the north, there's kind of like a little bit of stuff going on. I don't know who this is. High has some units there, but Professional Killer is going to meet him at that moment in time. So High offering some interesting strategic possibilities there with his presence, as he does offer like a flanking force for diversifying, I guess, the angle for those arrows to come down for Thor's team. So that might work out for them, but at the same time, I think we have a pretty good angle in terms of range units here. We did manage to take out one of Milkman's archers, which is pretty good for us, I think. But we have to be careful, as I think we are down some archers as well. So Professional Killer is going to be kind of caught up over here. Little pus explosion there that didn't work out for Professional Killer, I think, as Funky managed to block that with his goals, although I think he just lost both goals, both pus goals, and kind of in the same time. Now here's the other thing. GKG is, where is he at? So Donsky, Sam the Butcher, and Renwood, I think, are arrayed to meet GKG, I think, is what's happening here. And GKG's right here. And GKG, or Thor, has these goals that are running around as well. Pus goals, I imagine. And I think they did a number on, I believe, Sam the Butcher's archers. Not really sure. So that's one thing to consider. I'm going to try to utilize my forces to prevent this force from moving or pretty much doing anything. I basically want to affect like a contain by just, you know, keeping them occupied. I don't necessarily want to take them out. I just want to keep them from actually moving or doing anything, while this force is going to be able to attempt to take out GKG, since, you know, having the force like this in our backfield isn't really it's not a bad thing necessarily for us, but we would prefer not to have it here. You know, if we can eliminate flanks or attempts to flank, that would be great for us. So yeah, it looks like Father Xmas almost decided to push there, but I think he decides to wisely back out, as there are these dwarves and such to push him back, and also Thrall hiding underwater there. Some pus is going to go down, and it looks like GKG, Donsky's going to move in and try to take out that dwarf. He does manage to hit it, but is he going to be able to take it out? It looks like he is going to be able to do so. So GKG all of a sudden is at a huge disadvantage. He's going to lose a couple of units here and there, and all of a sudden he's going to be pushed. It looks like he's going to try to retreat over here. At least that's what I would do. I would try to run away at this point. I don't think it's worth turning around and fighting, but he is going to try to move in with these Thrall, interestingly enough, and try to do maybe like a last stand to protect these archers. So interesting. That's not something that I would have predicted, but it looks like he is going to be rushed and tried to gun down. He's going to try to save these archers by having everybody focus on these Thrall here. Yeah, I think there's enough units here to chase him away, although these units really need to fall back to mid. As yeah, I think I lost all my archers to some pus. I think it was what, Kermesi and Q, and I have no idea. But Milkman, I have no idea. But some pus came up behind me and basically took out all of my archers. I was like tunneling in the archer battle and lost them. However, at the same time, 64-68%, I think we have enough melee to basically rush in on this flag, although there's about 4 minutes and a half remaining in the game. So what we need to do is we need to be able to push this force off the flag by the game's end, and maybe win in such a fashion, as it doesn't really look like we have enough ranged units to get the upper hand in that way. So we're gonna have to use our melee to, in a sense, push him off the flag. It looks like I do have a Puskull. I'm not sure if I'm gonna move in with him or not. I think this was like a really sad miss for me. Yeah, I don't even know. Was that? Okay, I remember what happened. Sam the Butcher spared me that Puskull, and he had picked up a small pus packet, so I was really sad when that happened. That was a fail. That was quite surprising, actually, as that could have done a lot of damage to these archers. Meanwhile, like, I think our forces that had moved south, Donsky and I don't know who else, maybe Sam the Butcher, are going to be falling to the mid and maybe attempting to do a flank. And I think Donsky has 10% of our remaining forces this game, so he has a sizable force, and Father Xmas has quite a lot also. These units do have pus, so we have to be careful. They are going to be able to take out one of those Thrall, but not do a whole lot of damage like they were thinking they might have been able to do. So that was kind of a wasted effort there by Kermesi. This guy here is going to continue to do some damage, it looks like. Although Q has to be careful because that dwarf is very close to death. As now that I look at it, Q is kind of rushing in here, and that might not be great. Yeah, he does get sniped by the lone remaining archer there by Professional Killer. So that's actually going to work out great for us, because all of a sudden now Thor's force only has one remaining dwarf. And all of a sudden, well, actually two, as there's this one here by Gudini, but they're apart from each other, so we can easily rush each one separately, as it looks like Donsky is going to be attempting to focus this down. Renwood is going to try to move in and try to take that out. At the same time, Pus goes down, but duds on Kermesi's dwarf. However, we do have enough Thrall over here. This dwarf is nowhere in sight to be able to take it down, and that does get sniped by Professional Killer. So all of a sudden, it looks like we're doing really good at this melee battle there. And there are a lot of archers, but we do have even more melee. And it looks like we take out the other dwarf over here on this side as well. So all of a sudden, we are going to be able to sandwich Thor's force, and we have easily twice as many units as they do. And I think this game is going to be a loss for them. I do think that I lost pretty much all my units, pretty much in the battle here, as like all my Thrall basically got eaten up. But all of a sudden, more units. Sam the Butcher coming out with more Thrall. So this is why Thrall is really good, especially in a game like Last Man on the Hill. They can be used as a kind of Thrall wall to soak up damage and slowly push the opposing force away from the flag and take the win in such a way where, you know, you use them as cover for your soft units to hide behind and try to deal range damage or what have you with that. So they're really good at soaking up damage. They're really cheap, which is the great thing about Thrall. You know, if used effectively by focusing down, targeting the enemy dwarves, you can they're invaluable in a melee battle as well. As you know, when clumped together, they can deal an amazing amount of damage. Some friendly fire there by Donsky, it looks like. So I don't know if that, yeah, that goal, I don't know whose that was, but he only needed one hit, so he gives up at the end. Milkman saying, if Duffs hadn't suicided, well, I don't know if they suicided or not. I didn't see that, but it's very possible that they did. Let's look at some of these players. Looks like Donsky doing really well. 17 kills, Professional Killer, 115 damage. It's going to be the most, I think, out of anyone in the game. Once again, I hardly did anything this game. Only 29 damage. I got pus rushed at the kind of in the mid game there and lost. That was like all my offensive units. All I had after that was like Thrall basically, and that pus gold with the pus dud, with the small pus packet that didn't do anything. Yeah, that was kind of a disappointment. But yeah, it looks like Milkman actually did pretty well with 9 kills, 47 damage. Kermisi actually did really well with 72 damage and 8 kills for him. So Kermisi and Milkman, they were you know buddies in the middle here, and they managed to hold on for quite a while. And actually, Giant Killer General for being rushed in the south, he actually managed to put up a fight, put up a battle, 57 damage for him. Let's go ahead and look at losses as well, factor that in. Yeah, 17 losses, so he had the most for his team with his mixed squad there. But yeah, he was relentlessly pursued and destroyed. I think that was a high priority for Renwood's team. Renwood in particular was eager to see that happen. But yeah. Yeah, I think our team did really well, especially Professional Killer, it seems, in this last game. So yeah, that's going to be it for game number 5 and week 4 of Myth Kickballers, as Renwood is, in the end, victorious with 3 games to Thor's 2. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed these games, and if I do any more, well, I hope you enjoy those too.